Hello, grade 8. Today we're covering the last part of chapter 6, lesson 3, life in South Asia. Today we're covering the part related to the daily life. As we mentioned before, we're going to be comparing between South Asian culture and the American culture. How do South Asian culture and the American culture compare? Let's start by the South Asian culture. Actually, life in South Asia centers on family. You can find that several generations of the same family members live together. They share household chores and finance within the same family. Age and gender play important role. For example, you'll find that elders are very respected. Families are often subordinate to males. This is for the family. In United States, family is not the main part or the main center, but they often live together as a family. About the marriage, you'll find the idea of the arranged marriages is still common for South Asians, but less so than in the past. But anyway, parents often introduce couples to each other, but allow them to decide whether to marry or not. When couples meet independently of their parents, it is still important to get the approval to marry from their parents. So, parents' consent or parents' approval is very essential in marriage life. On the contrary, in the United States, people can meet and marry without their parents' approval. Let's talk about the food. A typical South Asian family meal would include rice, legumes, and flatbread. Also, curry is a combination of spices that is a part of many dishes, especially in India. South Asians do not eat great deal of meat, in part because of the religious guideline. As I told you before, Jainism is one of the religions that people do not eat meat if you are taking this religion as your religion, because their guideline prevent them of non-injury or non-hurt of any living creatures, so they are not able to hurt any creatures, so they cannot eat meat. But a typical United States family, mostly their common dish is meat. This is their base meal. Let's talk about issues that could, in the region of South Asia, could face people there. The first issue is earning a living. One of the biggest challenges of South Asian is making a living. Many peoples used to be farmers, but actually the good cropland is scarce. So most Asians have moved or managed to move from villages to cities in order to find better job opportunities. But in order to improve the agriculture advances known as the Green Revolution. What does it mean, Green Revolution? Green Revolution means to have increase the crop yields, and the Green Revolution involves the use of irrigation, fertilizers, and high yielding crops. Because of these improvements, India has not had to import food to feed its people since the year of 1970. But actually, this situation won't last much because the change or the rapid change of the population would come to an end, would come to also not to provide them with enough food because of the productivity in the population. Also, in addition to farming, South Asian make a living also from something called the cottage industry. Cottage industry means small businesses that employ people in their homes. Cottage industries include textile, weaving, making jewelry, and furniture, also wood carving. These small businesses help traditional crafts to survive, but also the advanced technology is fast growing of part South Asian economy. So maybe these cottage industries won't also last much. You can find entire cities have grown up around high-tech field. Indian are very special, especially in using computer. Engineers and software designers are in high demand throughout the world because this is their specialist, including United States. Another growing part also of South Asian economy is ecotourism. Ecotourism combines recreational travel and environmental awareness. So as you can see, they are working on the field of agriculture, also the industry, then they have moved to ecotourism. How they are making connections between South Asia and the world. Efficiency of the communication system varies. You can find newspaper, they are thriving, cheap and widely read, But also the landline phones are often reliable and trusted, and the cell phones have helped to ease the communication problems. But because of the vast number of English speakers in India, India is well suited for something called the outsourcing. What does it mean to have India as an outsource? Outsourcing occurs when a company hires an outside company or individual to do work. Why US companies often outsource to foreign countries where workers? Actually, because United States prefer workers who are coming from outside the United States because they are more flexible, more willing to do the work for lower wages, and also they have the excellence in speaking English. So it's much better for them to hire someone from outside the United States. A US resident who calls a customer service with a laptop problem might speak to an agent in India. So, as a customer service, you don't predict that the people who are going to answer you are coming from the same country. Maybe they are coming from other countries such as India. How could the Americans deal with the challenges how did the South Asian meet with the challenges that they are facing every day? Despite South Asia's rich resources, but the region is facing number of challenges. What are these challenges? Number one, the long-standing conflict between India and Pakistan. They are having a challenge over largely Muslim territory of Kashmir, the area containing the headwater of Indus River. That's why they are having this challenge, which is in one source of conflict. Both countries want to control this source of the source of the river. So they are having challenge over the religion and the source of water. But today, the control of Kashmir actually has been divided between the two countries, which are Pakistan and India. And they have also political conflicts resulted in tragedy. What are the tragedy that has been a result of the political conflicts? Two of the Indian prime ministers have been assassinated in recent decades. Andrea Gandhi, the daughter of Nehru, in 1984, and her son Rajvi Gandhi in 1991. Both prime ministers were killed by extremists who opposed their views. So this is another challenge, the challenge of Kashmir, and the other challenge was the assassination of the prime ministers. Another issue in India involves oppression of the Dalits, or they are called the untouchable. For centuries, these people have been discriminated against outcasts. They are clinging to the lowest rung on the social ladder. Okay, so this is the third one. The fourth one, other South Asian countries also face challenge in Sri Lanka. Buddhists and Hindus engaged in civil war. So the civil war between the Buddhists and the Hindus over religion, which has lasted several decades and cost them more than 60,000 lives. Another challenge in Nepal, a rebel group has been struggling since 1996 to overthrow democracy and establish a communist government. So this is the fourth challenge, overthrow the democracy and establishing a communist government. But actually, tribal people control large parts of the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. Other challenges would involve the common challenges such as health and environmental issues because of the rapid population, also the lack of water, also which has led to water pollution, air pollution in many parts of South Asia. The last challenge actually is the deforestation, which is also a major problem because most of India's forests has been cut down for timber or the development of water. So these are common challenges which you can find at any country. South Asia is trying to achieve some success in meeting these challenges. The civil war in Sri Lanka has ended, restoring peace to that island, and India has implemented strict rules on air and water pollution. Also, the government has made restrictions for wildlife conservation, which is increased many times over. So these are the most challenges that you can find, and we can summarize them in 2 points. The first challenge, the long conflict between India and Pakistan over the Muslim territory, Kashmir, over the source the only source of water, which is the Indus River water. And now it is solved by dividing the area into two areas between them. The second one is the assassination of two prime ministers, okay, because they have opposing groups. The third one, which is another issue, which is involved the oppression of the deities or the untouchable, because they are clinging to the lowest rung on the social ladder. Also, the fourth one is a challenge or the civil war in Sri Lanka between Buddhists and Hindus. The fourth one, which is tribal people control over the borders between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The fifth one, which is the challenge or the other challenges which you can find at any country, such as the health, environmental issues, which comes as a result because of the overpopulation, okay, which has been solved by the Indian government by using restrictions over the wildlife and also using restrictions over the protection of water sources and restrictions against people who try to pollute water and air. That's it for that lesson. Feel free to ask me any question concerning the lesson if you have any. Thank you very much.